Welcome to a special post-fight wrap-up edition of the Pound for Pound Boxing Report. I'm your host, Michael, aka WJR, the Pound for Pound Boxing Report, YouTube show, blog, and podcast. Tonight I'm doing a special live post-fight recap of what has to be considered an upset that went down tonight in Biloxi, Mississippi, as Jermain Taylor becomes a world champion again, defeating Sam Soliman by 12-round unanimous decision to win Soliman's IBF Middleweight Championship of the world. A quick recap of the fight right now. Through the first 5 rounds of the bout, I had Taylor win in the first round slightly, but starting in round 2, the awkward style, the activity, the work rate of Sam Soliman began to take some semblance of control. He just basically outworked Taylor. Taylor, he stayed patient, but a little bit too patient for as I'm concerned. He didn't have enough activity, didn't throw enough punches as far as I was concerned. He had his spots here and there. Things started to change in round 6, in which Jermain Taylor kind of found his groove a little bit, found his bearings, began to time Sam Soliman a little bit better, start throwing combinations more. And starting from round 7 on, things really changed. The fight really changed, and it had a turn for the worse, particularly for Sam Soliman. Starting at the midway point, I believe in round 7, Jermain Taylor knocked Sam Soliman down with a left hand, a straight left hand, a jab, put him down on his butt. Seemed to hurt him a little bit slightly towards the end of the round. In round 7 started a succession of 3 straight round 7, 8, and 9, in which Taylor scored knockdowns. I might add, in the beginning of round 8, Sam Soliman suffered a leg injury to his right leg. I don't know yet if it's knee or ankle. In a post-fight interview in the ring afterwards, Soliman suggested it was a knee. But anyway, the knockdown by Jermain Taylor in round 8, another knockdown in round 9, both by right hands. That was a product of Taylor landing punches, but as well as Sam Soliman being obviously hampered by the knee injury. Soliman tried to fight back hard in round 10, but again went down in round 11. At the end of the night, Taylor became new champion of the world by scores of 116-111, 115-109, and 116-109. 4 knockdowns total in the fight, round 7, 8, 9, and 11. More product of what Taylor did, of course, but also it has to be mentioned that a lot of it was due to the fact that Sam Soliman hurt his leg, really had no balance, really had no bearing. And as Teddy Atlas pointed towards the fight, a key to Sam Soliman is his awkward style. And if he doesn't have any legs, his awkward style cannot be used to his best effect. So again, Jermain Taylor becomes middleweight champion of the world. Once again, 36-year-old Jermain Taylor. And I said, this was a surprise to me. I didn't even think the fight should have been scheduled because of the injuries that Jermain Taylor has suffered previously. But again, to my surprise, he won. I got to give kudos to the fight. All credit in the world goes to Sam Soliman for fighting hard, showing what a real champion he was, fighting through when a lot of folks could have found a way out, would have found a way out. He kept pressing on. He kept pressing forward. What's in the future for Jermain Taylor, of course, is mandatory is Hassan Ndam, the Frenchman, who last week scored a 12-round unanimous decision win over Curtis Stevens. Also, the fight was on ESPN. May I add, this Soliman Taylor fight was an ESPN2 special. The Ndam Stevens fight was also an ESPN special as a mandatory eliminator. Ndam is now an eliminator, and it's expected that Jermain Taylor fight Ndam next. Ndam was at ringside for the fight. Another interesting observer at the fight was former WBO middleweight champion Peter Quillen, who recently gave up the belt. And the reason that is interesting because both Taylor and Peter Quillen are both handled by Hal Heyman, and money talks. So we could very well see Jermain Taylor fight Quillen next instead of the mandatory against Hassan Ndam of France. Who knows? That's to be pondered in the future. We will see what will happen upcoming. But again, to recap, Jermain Taylor, at age 36, is a world champion again, defeating Sam Soliman in Biloxi, Mississippi, to become the IBF Middleweight Champion of the world. This has been a special recap edition of the Pound for Pound Boxing Report. I'm your host, Michael. We will see you next time. Good night.